All right, we'll start with some more remarks from Coach Locksley, and we'll take the media and attendance questions. Coach.
Sure. First thing is obviously with all these games, you got to give credit to Minnesota, to PJ, his staff. Good team, especially when they get off to a quick start like they were able to do. Visibly, I'm frustrated a little bit because as a coach, it's always the toughest part for you as a coach is to have patience. And when you have inexperienced players, the experience of just having patience and understanding that consistency is always that last piece. And, you know, to spot a good team at home, 21 points like that, it started with the 2 interceptions in the first quarter. I mean, we're not built to just give the other team points like that. Defensively, we did a good job stopping the run, but that Achilles heel of our inexperience on the outside, giving up the explosives. I think we gave up 14 explosives and only 2 in the run game. And, you know, to me, we've got to continue to find the answers. I thought a week ago they played better. This week our guys didn't play as well with the ball in the air. And to me, that's the only way that we want to, you know, to lose is if we weren't going to let them run the ball. But those young guys had to make plays, and consistency is the toughest thing right now. And I'm going to keep coaching these guys. They played for 4 quarters. I didn't see a bunch of finger pointing and quitting, which is what I like about this team. I would just ask that we just continue to show up here, put the work in, which I have no problem with that. But you know what? We lost some guys early that wound up not playing, and some of these younger guys got opportunities. And those are the ones where they have to take advantage of it, and we've got to have them coached and ready to fill in when they need. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Mike, you mentioned the interceptions. We're used to seeing Billy make sound decisions. What happened? What were the circumstances on those picks? Was it miscommunication? Just
no, I mean, the first one was a poor decision.
Yeah.
They played cloud. You know, right now everybody thinks, you know, playing cover 2 and dropping a bunch of guys in the coverage is the answer. And it is. You know, one issue with Billy right now is he's not 100% in the run game where he can use his feet. You know, when they drop 8, you want to either run it, check it down. The quarterback either runs it or checks it down, and you know we have answers for it. What we've got to do is continue to get them picked up. The second interception got hit in the chest before we had a guy wide open that was the great deliver the ball, and that's the part where when I talk about the progress all happening at one time, we need the protection for him to make the throw on the 1 interception, and then for him, just a poor decision with the throwing into cloud coverage and all the indicators that were told him not to, and that's the part that we got to get the tape watched, and I got to get with him to make sure that he's not predetermining some things as he tries to force plays.
And in injury-wise, when we saw Glenn practicing, that he wasn't out there, can you update us on his situation?
Yeah, I mean, he was out. It was a game-time decision. He went out to warm up. You know, we've been banged up in the safety position since earlier in the year. Brandon Jacobs has been out. Yep. Glenn Miller went out today. Then we had our second nickel, Judah Jenkins gets removed for targeting, and now we're down to our third nickel playing in critical situations where to stop the run you got to load the box. We have to have answers, and you know this next couple of weeks and a half of knowing we got to get healthy first. I mean the bye week again is coming at a good time for us, and we got to use all these resources we have to get some guys healthy. Kellen was a game time scratch, and it's we don't have that's 2 big productions for us on defense. When you lose Glenn and Kellen, who both have made a lot of production for us. This is where the patience, this is where, the positivity of me just continuing. These young players, I got to force them to grow up and prepare them. This is why we practice the way we do, because in this league, you'll have these type of injuries. Everybody's dealing with them. It's not just us. You're already playing young players, so the guys that are backups, imagine what they are. They're even more inexperienced. And we'll keep coaching and keep showing up. And I like the way that this team, they play for 4 quarters. Just don't play always smart, and then we got to be more consistent.
Why do you guys think you started so poorly after the big win last week in the first quarter?
I mean, Sam, we threw 2 picks in the first quarter. I mean, if we don't throw 2 picks in the first quarter, it's not 21 to whatever it was. Those are poor decision making on the first one. The second one, poor protection. I mean, it's not a philosophical thing. It's all about just we have to make plays. We made them a week ago. This week, we didn't see the progress all together. Whether it's the line blocking to give Billy the protection, whether it's Billy making the right decisions on the defensive side of the ball, getting off the field on 3rd downs. I mean, it's frustrating to watch. It's 3rd and long, and they catch a comeback. I mean, we're in 2-man, and they throw a comeback to kick the field goal before the half, where if we're in trail position. So as I told our guys, I mean, when you watch it, and we see it in real time now, so I can answer a lot of these questions. If we're in two-man and we're in the trail position, the ball doesn't happen. You can't be even with a guy. You can't be over the top. These are fundamental things that come with coaching, come with the experience, come with the learning. I mean, the team has shown that we have the ability to learn from our mistakes. It's just, I hate it, but I'm going to keep coaching them. So,
Brosmer obviously played really well. I think he had a season high in yards and
4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. You know what? They didn't beat us running the ball, but I expected us to be able to affect him a little bit more. He's a good quarterback. I said that on Tuesday or whenever the press conference was, having evaluated him. But I would venture to say that, again, very few times is it the opponent that the issue is. I mean, you know, last week we had our guys were in better position with balls in there. Today, I mean, we had guys look like they were wide open. Guys getting picked, we're not executing, you know, getting to a bunch set. And you're supposed to have a guy that puts hands on the guy that's on the line of scrimmage so that you don't get the picks. And those are the fundamentals that, you know, it's frustrating when you look at it. It's frustrating as you coach it. It's frustrating that they don't have the consistency to get it done every single play. And that's where, for us as coaches, we got to keep coaching these guys. But I also think there's some responsibility on these guys to also take the techniques, and everybody has to be prepared to execute.
I know you said it was a poor decision by Billy on the first interception, throwing into the cloud zone. It looked like Shalik, he maybe expected Shalik to sit down. Was there a miscommunication there, or was it just he predetermined?
No, I mean, they showed off coverage, and we have concepts, which I don't get into the philosophical part of it, but versus cloud coverage, you don't throw hitches.
Yeah.
That's a base concept, and Billy's not done that a lot. And so, why'd you do it? He said, I was just trying to get a completion. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's where I'm like, Billy, that's not how you get the completion. And so, as soon as it happened, I'm screaming, oh no, what are we doing? And you know what? We'll watch the tape. He's been a great learner from it. I mean, it all goes back to, you know, not predetermining or making decisions without going through your process. And you know what? I'll keep coaching Billy Edwards Jr. He maybe not played his best game today, but you know what? He's given us a chance to win, and I'll keep coaching him, and he'll be better for it.
Did you expect to end up playing this many freshmen when you looked at this roster back in August?
I didn't, but nobody cares, Wayne. I mean, I gotta play the guys that have to, you know. This is college football, man. Everybody's going to be dealing with this, with, you know, not having depth, having to play new players. It's a new world, because it used to be you had a guy that's been in your system for 3 years, and then all of a sudden they grow up. Well, we've got, you know, 3 or 4 linemen that haven't been in the system, and it's game 6, game 7 for some of these guys. I want it now, and they know it. This team wants it now. The patience is the toughest thing for me. I know it's tough for all my bosses. It's tough for me. It's tough for everybody that loves us, because you have the success and see it a week ago, and then the consistency of not being able to show up and build on it. And that's, to me, I'm probably more disappointed that we didn't build off of what we accomplished a week ago. And it started with just how we started the game, because if we don't put ourselves, I mean, get the game to the fourth quarter on the road, give yourself a chance. And we didn't give ourselves a chance from the first quarter where we got down the way we did.
Last two, so we have time for players. So Gene.
One more injury question. We saw Dre getting carted off late in the first half there.
I haven't heard anything yet on it. I haven't heard anything about it, but it was a lower leg extremity. I don't know how bad yet. Didn't get any information on injuries before I got in there.
Because you said, you know, with the young corners especially, you want to keep seeing them grow, and you keep repeating they eventually have to grow up. Do you think that'll come this season? Is that a down the road thing?
No, it's going. I wanted to come tomorrow. I wanted to come. I mean, you see glimpses of it, because, you know, a week ago we were in great position when they challenged us with and some really talented receivers a week ago, and they got talented receivers today. And, you know, I just felt like we played a little hesitant. You know, that's the one thing about when you play the young guys out on the perimeter, and this is why it's always, I mean, I look across college football and pro ball, and the deep ball down the field is probably one of the toughest plays to play, because it's either been a pass interference or the defense is at a disadvantage. But a week ago, we did a tremendous job of challenging and being in better position for whatever. This week, you know, I know one of them, we're missing our jams a couple times. We're kind of bailing off of things. That's That's our jobs, to get these guys to consistently do the fundamentals and the things that we ask them to do. And they will, man. They want to. They continue, man. They continue to show up. And I hate talking about the young corners and the O-line because, you know what, they're growing up right in front of us. And what I will keep stressing, man, is the patience of the consistency of them executing the way it has to be done. I mean, in this league, there's very little room or margin for error. And you know what? We'll get this corrected. We'll get some teaching off of it. We got a week to get some healthy bodies back, some production back on the defensive side of the ball. We'll get Billy cleaned up in his decision making, and we'll keep developing our program. And you know, again, the goal is to win now, not next year and all that stuff. But you know, I'll just look for progress each week, and then sticking to the process of what it takes to build it. So.
I think of one short one. I know you generally don't talk about the philosophy and the play calling, but I have to ask, what's the indication to you to go with the turtle push versus just handing the ball or running a regular set when it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2?
Well, they do some things defensively when they load the A gaps, and again, I like to, in a perfect world, I like to say, let's call it turtle push on 4th and 1 every play and impose my will. Yeah. But the reality of it is we're just not there yet as a developed offensive line to say we can just line up and knock people off the ball. I mean, we're still got some young guys in it. We got to teach to play with leverage. They got to get bigger and stronger. Those things are coming because I see signs of it. But there's also some gamesmanship in there that they're going to put a bunch of guys down inside the A gaps, and then we have to have answers. And we've done a decent job of giving our guys plays that need to be made in short yardage situations.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.